Hey, good morning. Welcome to my YouTube channel. So, I've thought about a few things that I could do videos about, and I really enjoy helping people thoroughly, like to the point that I will interrupt my own life to help you. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. I've just got to pick and choose what I can handle. So, today, this morning, it's early, I'm up, and I also do Facebook Live. So I was going to do my Facebook Live, and I wasn't feeling it yet, and these dishes need to be done, so I'm going to do the dishes. But in saying that, some people don't know how to do the dishes properly, and some of us leave dishes sit overnight. So it's important that if we want to have clean dishes, to do them properly. And the first proper thing is, if you got a sink full of dirty dishes, you empty the water out and you wash your sink. And even when if you get all of your dishes done and you empty the water out when you're done with them, clean the sink, because a clean sink doesn't have all that leftover residue from before, and you can start fresh without any of the previous oils and greases and food left over. So I have this stopper in my sink. And some people only have dishwashers, like they don't know. Okay, so the reason I'm doing this, I worked with a lady at Speedway, and I asked her, I said, do you know how to clean a coffee pot? Because we have the regular coffee pots. They have something new down there now, but there was regular coffee pots. And I said, do you know how to clean the coffee pot? She says, no, I have a Keurig. Really? Like, you don't know how to clean the coffee pot because you got a Keurig. And so, it is what it is. Some people, on the old vehicles, they had the crank windows. Y'all know what I'm talking about, the crank windows. And kids today don't know what those are. They look at it and they're like, what's the purpose of that thing? Where's the button that I need to push? I said, that is your button. You are the power. You are the power. So, I have this full of gunk from the night before, yesterday's stuff. I did not finish the dishes, but we're going to do it this morning. We're going to do it. I took a class, not really a class, but when I was a little girl, I went with some of my friends to this church, and I don't remember what it was called. I just know that, like, maybe it was like Girl Scouts. No, maybe not that. They did how to properly wash dishes. And so that's what we're going to do today. But I was little then, and they don't do that kind of stuff anymore. It was like a little church group up on top of the hill from where I'm living right now, and like the Rainbow Club. I think some of my girls remember that, some of my friends. Anyhow, so yeah, they taught us how to do the dishes. Maybe it wasn't, no. It was with my friend Tara Scott at the Salvation Army, and we went to something there. And I don't remember what the event was, but we talked about life stuff. So maybe this is what people need today. Not necessarily today, but like in today's world. So that's what we're going to do. So first of all, I have my strainer that goes into there that plugs the sink, and it's full of gunk from yesterday. So I'm going to go empty that out. And you rinse it. I've got stuff sitting everywhere. Don't mind my mess. It's Misty's mess. So there's still stuff in there. So I'm going to rinse that out. And then I'm going to wash my sink. And then I'm going to fill it with hot water. But I don't fill it with a lot of water. I'll show you. So, and I hope you can hear me over the sound of the dishes. I've got, let me get my towel. I've got a sink full of dishes. See? And so my hand hit that sink full of dishes. So I've got dishes over there in the other sink on the other side. And I don't really want to stack them up anywhere because they've already been in the water. But they're not all going to go back in initially when I do this. So, get my wash rag, get it nice and hot. And I'm missing my soap. Dawn my soap. So I do use Dawn. We use Dawn. It's like the best soap ever. So, get a little bit of soap, and I wash my sink. I wash it down. I don't necessarily rinse it out because then I'm going to be filling it with hot soapy water. I don't want to get those initial, like, greases and stuff left over from before. I want that out of there. And yes, I'm washing my strainer because it's got leftover gunk on it. So that's what we're going to do. And the dishes are bothering me, and everyone could learn how to properly do the dishes, and the world would be okay with that, right? Right. So, I go live on YouTube, or I'm sorry, I go live on Facebook a lot, just to promote positivity, because on the other side of that is I didn't have a lot of that growing up. I had good experiences, like the Rainbow Club, or that was with Denise Yoder, or the thing at Salvation Army with my good friend Kara Scott, and so we did little things like that, and I got out and about, but the way I was treated at home was horrendous, and I hated doing dishes so much, and no one liked doing dishes with me. Like, if the dishes were dirty, if I was the rinser, like my sisters would be the washer, I would be the rinser, so if the dishes were not clean, when it comes to the rinsing cycle, back in the pot it goes. I have hair everywhere. My hair, I shed, so I do have hair. So I have this plate, and I tried to rinse it off a little bit before I put it in. Sometimes I will rinse my dishes, the dirty ones, before I put them in my nice clean sink water, because it's nice clean sink water. Okay, so to start this, I didn't put very much water in. I gotta show you. Let's see. No, I don't want a picture. I want to switch it around. It's not gonna let me switch it around. So I'm gonna turn this camera and show you how much water I've got. See, it's not very much water. Like, I put my wooden spoon in there. It's not very much water at all. And you don't need a lot of water, because you can always add more hot water. You can always take away too by undoing the drain, letting a little bit out, adding some more hot water. But if you start off like this, then when you stick your hands in, like, you don't have a sink full of steaming hot water, so you don't have to stick your hands in clear up to here to get those dishes out. You just gotta put your fingertips in to get those dishes out. So I'm gonna load it up with my silverware first, because in this class that we did, silverware's lids of stuff, medicine dispensers, coffee cups, some bowls. So the order of operations for dishes. There's an order of operations for dishes. Did you know that? I bet you didn't know that. So you want to do like the stuff that you eat with first, because the water is the cleanest right now. Like right now. So so you want to do silverware and stuff first, and rinse that. I rinse the stuff because I don't want the spaghetti sauce in my water. Because we had goulash last night. So, yeah. So I'm just going to rinse a couple of these and tear the paper off of this. Like, we save jars. Jars are handy for different things. You can put different things in them as long as you have your lids and stuff. So those are in the bath, soaking. And if you turn them around, hold on. See that back there? That's my knitting bag. I was going to sit and knit and start my other video, but I didn't. We're going to do this instead. And it's morning. It's like 7 o'clock in the morning. I had to turn around at the time. I got coffee. It doesn't have to be a big, bad thing to do the dishes. So I'm going to show you what I got here. I got these soaking in the bath. And then, so if I turn them, if there's any gunk on them, then that soapy water will, like, it'll really get to them. I kind of feel weird doing this, but that's okay. So then I've also got these dishes still sitting in the sink. But I'm going to wash these dishes without disturbing those dishes, which is why I don't have a lot of water in my washing sink. And you know what I just realized? I realized I didn't, oh goodness. There we go. I realized I did not put away all of the dishes that I had done before. So I'm going to do that really quick. And it's important to put the dishes where they belong when they're clean. You don't have to bang around to get it done. I just by accident banged around. Everyone else here is still sleeping. So, it is what it is. Everyone's still sleeping. The dishes are bugging me, so I'm going to get them done anyway so I can just not worry about them for a minute. That's what I do. I try to do it. I say I do it a lot. I probably don't do it as much as I should. And that's the beauty of, I don't know, there's no beauty in that. So, and we have a lot of silverware, like, to put away. So we're just gonna, whatever I used yesterday needs to be put away before we can fill it up with something else. Dum-de-dum-de-dum. And you don't have to, like I said, like some people are like, oh, I gotta do the dishes. Oh, it's so awful to do the dishes. It doesn't have to be awful. Like when I was growing up, it was awful. Now, not so much. You know, you can really make it what you want. And if you want them done and you want them done right, do them yourself. The spatula will get you. No, it won't. I'm just having fun right now. Because that's what we're supposed to do in life, right? We're supposed to have fun. So, I have all the silverware. I'm going to go put it away. I'm going to pause this and come back to it. Okay, I am back. And I've got all my dishes put away. So my strainer is nice and clean. Other than I have this side area too that's not so clean. Wow. It's alright. That's what the beauty of video is. Like, I'm not going to edit this at all. I don't edit. I just wing it. But some of the stuff needs to be put away, so we're going to put it away, right? I know, the kitchen is full of stuff. Full. Table's a catch-all right now. Stuff happens. So maybe I'll do something with that later. And stack my cups. They're all different, so. And that happens too, like we all collect things and whatnot. Here's my squeegee thing that I use to fill my, my cupcakes or cake pops or whatever we feel like making for the day. So there's my squeegee thing. So that's what we got going on. Just dishes and putting stuff away and getting stuff done so it looks nicer and neater. Right? Right. And just cleaning up. So when we clean up our lives, even if we're just cleaning up the dishes, good things happen. Number one, you feel better about yourself because it's done. So you're not having those bad feelings like, oh, I've got to do these dishes. What am I going to do? No, you don't have that because they're done. So I'm going to start, actually I'm not going to start with the sauced spoon. I'm not going to start with that. I'm going to start with something a little easier. Chip bowls from yesterday. So, Cool Whip, chip bowls, I don't care. So, that's what we do. Because the reusable containers that we get all the time, people come over, they get food, they take them, they don't bring them back. These, no one takes. So it is what it is. So I'm going to stack that right here. I'm going to wash the other one. And really the order of operations, like I said, I have of dishes. I have silverware, I have cups, and I have a few bowls in here. And technically because your bowl, or because your silverware, you eat with it, you want to wash those first, or into the bath with the first of them. And then, So I'm just going to rinse my stuff. I'm not even disturbing those other dishes in there. And I can add more hot water into this if I like, because there's not a lot of hot water in there. So when I'm rinsing, it's just going right back into the sink of hot water, warming up my water, really. I know, who would have thought I'd have been doing a tutorial about dishes, right? Oh my gosh. So, now I'm going to wash a few more things, and that's kind of how I do it. And like when I get to my silverware, well, we'll get to that here in a minute. Let's finish washing up these cups so they're out of my way, really, because I don't want them in my way. So 2 more. 1 more hot water. And my hands get like super red. Like this water is super hot. Because that's the only way to do it, I think. That's just my opinion. It's my grandma's opinion too. So. By the way, I live with my grandmother. These videos are all done at my grandmother's house for right now, for the time being. So, I couldn't figure out why I couldn't find my coffee cup this morning. It's because it was in the sink and I didn't do it last night. It happens. Stuff happens. So we'll just get it done anyway. And because I don't want to set this one up here because I might knock it over, I'm going to stick it in the back of my sink, like at the back of my water, so it can just sit there and chillax until I'm ready to rinse it. Then I have a bottle brush for the jars. And we'll get that. I kind of feel like Bob Ross. The other night on Netflix, Jalen and I watched Bob Ross and painting stuff. And so it's kind of how I feel right now. It's a little different. So I've got all the inside washed. I washed the outside. It's important. Oh, let me tell you how super important it is to wash the outside of anything that you wash. Because, well, if I have this full of whipped cream and I set this on top of it and it's stuck, but then so I'm going to go wash it and there's still stuff stuck to it and I don't wash it off, when I rinse it, it doesn't come off. Nothing makes it come off except washing it. A better example with plates and bowls. Because when you stack them, and like we all had, ooh, that's warm. So we all had goulash last night. We all had it on plates. So if no one rinses their plates off, and you have to stick them all in the sink. Let me see. So let's say, here we go. We'll use a clean plate for this example. So I have my plates and they're stacked together and I stick them in the sink and I wash this one and then I wash this one, but then I don't wash the bottom of it. But I've got crap from this one on this one. So and grease and oil from our hands and wherever else we've set our plates, that's what ends up on the bottom of this. So then I'm going to rinse it and do it, but then the rinsing didn't take the grease off either. So then when I go to take them out because they're dry and put them away, I stick them back together. And whatever was left behind before is what's on this plate now. I mean, it's not clean. But that's kind of the gist of it. So, we've been doing bamboo stuff. She eats corn on the cob, and we get out a bamboo skewer so she can hold her corn on the cob. It works. It's like extended corn holders. They have those ones that stick in the ends of the corn. So, now that my silverware is soaked a little bit, and my other stuff that I used to cook with last night, by the time I get to this, it's really easy to wash. I don't have to scrub it because it's already soaked for the length of time that it took me to do the bowls and stuff. So while I'm doing this, I'm going to put and I still got stuff in the other sink because I'm not moving it. I'm not stacking it anywhere else. If I move it, it's going to be from that sink into the bath. So this stuff that's still left in the sink, all my silverware and my medicine cup and Jalen, it's all, I'm going to wash it. I'm going to stick it back in the water at the back of the sink. Like I moved everything to the front. This is my working area. The back of the sink is where everything clean is going. So, bubbles on my arm. But that's okay. We'll deal with that, right? So, and I really hope everyone, you know, gets this, understands it, enjoys it. And if you don't need this, that's fine. If you know how to do dishes, great. But some people, especially the younger generation, they don't know. So we're going to do this. Is that it? That's it. That's all my silverware. So now I'm going to turn my water back on again. Just enough to get the stuff rinsed. And I'm rinsing right over my wash water. Make sure no soap left on the dishes will it'll cause you to have diarrhea. Soap left on dishes will cause you to have diarrhea. Because if you eat soap, that's what happens. Only the mouthy kids know what I'm talking about. Apparently I was super mouthy because I ate soap a lot when I was growing up. To the point, like my parents made me eat soap, that's not appropriate. FYI, not appropriate. And let some of this water out. So soap in the mouth to a mouthy kid is not appropriate. I still cannot use the Bath Bar Zest because every time I smell it, I can taste it. And that's horrendous. So, we got that done. So now that I've got those done, that's the main part of that, I'm going to put everything else in the bath. Meatloaf pan from 2 nights ago. Ooh, cup I missed. Other silverware I missed because I wasn't touching on any of that stuff. That's okay. But the essential part is that you want to do the least dirty first, the ones that hit your mouth first, and then the stuff, the pans, the bowls, the plates, the extra dirty stuff, you want to put in at the end. And because that's all got other gunk on it and stuff, and you don't want all of that on your silverware, except that I've got silverware in here too. But we rinse well, so rinsing out the sink, and now so I had dirty dishes over here in this other sink, so I'm going to wash this one out before I start using it to rinse, because I haven't used it to rinse yet. I've been using this area, my washing area, to rinse, which is fine. It is what it is. I did not do dishes last night, and maybe there's a reason. Maybe this is the reason that I did not do dishes last night. So that's it. That's what we got going on. So then always remember also, once you're done doing your dishes and you let all your dirty water out, rinse your sink out. Clean that gunk out, because then the next time you go to start, it's going to be clean and you're not going to have to do anything to set up, because you've already done the setup. In the breaking down of it, you've already done the setup of it. I feel like that's a life lesson. I'm not connecting it yet, but I'm sure I will. So, and I did not rinse the sink out. I just washed it, because when I rinse the dishes, I will also rinse the sink. Killing 2 birds with 1 stone. I don't know why they say that. Getting 2 things done at the same time. Rinsing the sink and rinsing the dishes. There we go. So, this is it. Just wash, get it done. Probably not going to do that meatloaf pan right away. Ooh. I'm going to end this video, start posting it, and not do the meatloaf pan right now. By the time I'm done posting that, my meatloaf pan will be ready to wash. So also, with this, when you start cooking, if your sink is clean, and even if it's not, make your sink clean. But when you go to start cooking anything, if you run a sink full of soapy water, not even a sink full, but like, get an inch thick, 2 inches deep of water in the bottom of your sink. You get that going while you're cooking, and you can quickly wash up, rinse up, wipe up anything that you're doing in the kitchen. And it's a good practice. I don't always practice it. My husband doesn't always practice it. but it takes practice. Like, it's not something that I'm used to doing. It's not the way I was taught to do things. The dishes were always done after dinner, not while dinner was being made. I don't know why. It's just the way I was raised. Nice and clean. So now, let's say I didn't wash the bottom of this one or the bottom of this one. If I didn't do that, then when I go to stack them together after they're clean, all of that grease from the bottom is just going to go onto the next plate. So then when I go to get that plate to eat off of, there's going to be grease on it, and I'm going to eat that. So, wash the bottoms of your plates, wash the bottoms of your bowls, wash the outsides of your cups, wash the handles of your spoons and forks and knives. Don't just wash the tip where everyone eats off of, because where your hand touches is dirty too. Alright, cleaning that meatloaf pan. See, it's a meatloaf pan. It had meatloaf. So, and it's, sometimes I'll like pre-wash it, like try to scrub some of that off, and then once I get a little bit of it, you know, like the main gunk off, then the water can get to the rest of it and soak the rest of it off for a moment. So now I can use this sink to rinse, get stuff done. Move some stuff around because it's what I do. I have another, like, not towel, but it's a mat that I set dishes on over here as well. So sometimes when I set them over there and they're completely wet, they don't always dry on the inside if I lay them down flat, like with a cup or whatever. So I'll stick them, and I'll rinse them, I'll stick them in the strainer first, and then when I'm ready to move, I move them, because most of the stuff is evaporated out from underneath, because the water's so stinking hot. It's okay. So, and then when I was doing dishes this time, or doing this load, when I was washing my silverware, I stuck them in a cup. Like, I washed them, and I stuck them in this cup. So when I go to rinse them, I can just pull them out, rinse them, stick them in my strainer, and be done. Rinse my cup, and I'm done. So I had to stop the water and show you that. And just, you know, get them all done, rinsed. And then before you know it, you really are done with the dishes, man. There's a thing, there's a movie. Don't tell Mom the babysitter's dead. And she, in the movie, his sister, the boy's sister, tells him to do the dishes. And so him and his friend stand on the roof of the house and shoot the dishes. He says, the one says, pull, and the other one goes, pew, with a gun. And then he says, the dishes are done, man. So, oh, and also, like, while you're doing dishes, you can also take your wash rag and wash up, like, the sink and the gunk, and, because when you're doing dishes, you got water that comes out and lays around, just hanging out there, and it also looks nicer, looks more nice, it looks nicer or more nice, I don't know which one it is. So, that's what I got for this morning. I dropped bubbles on the floor. I'm going to get off of here and get other stuff done, and I hope you enjoyed this tutorial about how to hand wash dishes.